Okay, this is English 101, Week 5, Part 8. I realize this is crazy. This is a lot of stuff to deal with. Magic horses with wings flying around the heavens, looking at magic shit in the sky like goodness, truth, and beauty, which somehow exist without examples because it's the pure form of goodness, truth, and beauty. Let's talk about something closer to our reality. Let's try to understand it. Socrates is trying to explain the soul by talking about horses. Let me try to explain the horses by talking about something in our real life. Because he says that if the good horse wants to look at goodness, truth, and beauty, but if the bad horse drags it down, they get stuck with opinion. For example, Lysias, who claims you should marry someone that's not in love with you, which is not even good advice, but it's the kind of stuff you get stuck with when you pay attention to the wrong things. Uh, One way to think about this is learning. If you sort of study, um, and you learn to recognize what's true, what's trustworthy, then you will read books that will teach you good things, and you will watch YouTube videos that will have from experts that will teach you smart, intelligent things that will help you with your life. But if you don't learn about what's helpful for you, useful, truth and goodness, if you don't learn to recognize truth and goodness, you will get sucked into watching YouTube videos about crazy conspiracy theories that will tell you all kinds of things that are bad for you. Like, you'll start watching videos that are like, don't wear masks during a pandemic, or vaccines are dangerous. These things are not true. But their opinions, and people get sucked into them because they can't tell good from bad. It's the bad horse that's leading you to believe things that are not true. And that is damaging to you. But if you know what to pay attention to, if you know, for example, to find out, is this person an expert? Do they know what they are talking about? Are they trustworthy? Then you're paying attention to useful, good stuff that will help you in your life. And so this is Socrates' point, is that there's a horse that wants bad stuff, and there's a horse that wants good stuff. Um, and that you have to pay attention and what are you going to do, Socrates says, to support the good horse seeing good things, and try to control the bad horse that wants bad things. And I really think the best example is when you're clicking around on YouTube. Is the person speaking on a YouTube video an expert? Do they know what they're talking about? Or is it just some random guy saying crazy shit? Because the random guy saying crazy shit might be fun to listen to. The guy that says, the guy might be very entertaining, who says, COVID is a hoax, and vaccines the government's spying on you and doing all of these, kind of crazy conspiracy theory stuff. That vaccines cause autism, for example, which is not true. So you can get sucked into opinion when you get dragged too far away from goodness, truth, and beauty. Okay, cool. So that's what Socrates is talking about, is what are you sort of feeding your soul with? And again, he says soul, and we don't really talk about souls that much, but let's talk about the mind. Because remember, the ancient Greek word for soul is psyche, which is related to psychology, and psyche is one of those words we use to talk about the mind. What's going on in your psyche means what's going on in your mind. That's how we would use it. So, what are you feeding your mind with? So if you feed your mind with good things that are interesting things, if you when you go to school and you read the kind of books your teachers are experts in sort of what to be reading and paying attention to. So if you go to college and you read the books your professors tell you to read, you are feeding your mind with good things, and that will help you identify good things later on in your life to pay attention to. But if you do not know what to look for, then you might start feeding your mind with bad things, like crazy conspiracy theories about how, COVID is a hoax, which is not true. COVID is a real thing. You start feeding your mind with bad things, and that kind of drags you downward. And it damages your mind because you're spending time with things that are untrue and that are sort of damaging to you. So I know it seems crazy that I'm giving you all this shit about horses and the gods flying their chariots and looking at space shit and whatever, but it's not about your soul and the gods. It's about your mind and what are you putting into your mind. to sort of guide you for your life? And I think these are real questions that as college students, you should be thinking about. The classes you're taking, the teachers you're listening to, whether you're taking their advice or not, the kind of books that you're reading, the things you're exposing yourself to. This is what Socrates is talking about. And that's why I think it's important for your college education, because just the fact that you're in college and you're taking these classes, that's your good horse. You know, the good horse says you should take these classes and read these books, and the bad horse says don't read the books. Just pretend you know things. You could probably get a degree anyway. So this is why I'm giving it to you, because it's very much about a college education. What are Socrates? So don't get confused by the soul horse, winged horse space stuff. It's about what are you putting into your mind and what effect does that have on you. These are actual questions to think about for college. And by the way, please notice, one of the things that worries me about the way college is run is a lot of it is run, students come to college because they want to make money. And they think, well, if I can get a college degree, I can get more money. And they cheat on their tests, and they don't really read the books, and they kind of fake their way through it, and they get the degree to get more money. Or they major in practical things. You spend your whole time learning practical skills about how to be an accountant, or how to, like just job training stuff. But if you don't take a little philosophy, if you don't take a little psychology, if you don't take these kinds of other things, then you're not really thinking about larger issues about your mind. You're thinking about money. But see, Socrates, I think, would say that thinking about money and just trying to get the degree, even if you didn't learn the information, like cheating on tests, is your bad horse. Sorry, it's cold, and I came all the way to the park, and I didn't realize how cold it is, and the sun is setting, and so now my hand is shaking like this. I apologize. I'm trying to keep it steady. Next time I'll bring a coat, because oh my God, I'm so cold right now. So Socrates says that the point is, what are you feeding your mind? And a lot of my students, they want money, and they just want to get the degree to get the money, and they don't care if they learn the thing. They just want the grade. That's the bad horse, because if you just care about the degree, if you just care about the grade, then you're not actually learning the thing. Well, learning the thing, Socrates says, grows the wings of your soul, but I would say makes your mind stronger. And if you cheat on your tests and you're able to get the degree, then okay, but now you don't actually, your mind is weak, and it's not, and you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do that will sort of make your life better. And ultimately, you're doing damage to yourself. Like if you went to the gym and you pretended to lift weights, you could do it, but it's not really you're not going to get stronger unless you pick up weights that are too heavy, or not too heavy. You won't get stronger unless you pick up heavy weights. If it's too easy, you won't build muscle. So if you don't actually read the books that your teachers tell you to read, it's like pretending to lift. It's like pretending to lift weights. You're not actually making your mind bigger. Your soul wings grow, as Socrates say. But I would just say making your mind bigger. So, okay, looking good. That's why I'm giving you this. There is a reason behind this, and I know it seems crazy, but there is a kind of logic to what I am doing here. Let's finish up this page. So he says, the reason why souls exhibit this exceeding eagerness to behold the plane of truth is that the pasturage is found there. I mean, that's where the food is. The plane of truth, meaning the sort of field where the food is. The pasturage is food. And is suited to the highest part of the soul, right? Your good horse wants good food, and that's why it's trying to get there. And the wings on which the soul soars are nourished with this. And there is a law of destiny, that the soul which attains any vision of truth in company with a God is preserved from harm until the next period, and if attaining always is always unharmed. But when she is unable to follow and fails to behold the truth, or sinks below, so he's talking about Socrates is basically claiming that the souls travel with the gods now, and that there's sort of good effects and bad effects from that. Now, some of this stuff he's going to get into some kind of astrology sounding nonsense, which I don't really want to think too hard about, because that's gonna take us far afield. But I'm going to turn the page here and kind of get ready for the next section. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to stop here because I think we're done. I'll see you in the next video.